Hey viewers, welcome to African Tales by Afi. Please kindly click the subscribe button to get notified for more amazing stories. Amara hummed softly to herself as she mopped the marble floors of the Crystal Wheel Auto Showroom, the most luxurious car dealership in town. Her uniform was a little too big, and her hands were dry from the cleaning liquid she used every day. But her eyes sparkled with quiet dreams no one knew about. While others saw her as just the cleaner, Amara saw herself as a person of purpose, someone who would one day do something big. She just didn't know how or when. Every morning, she arrived early to sweep, mop, dust, and polish the entire showroom until the cars sparkled like diamonds in the sun. The Crystal Wheel wasn't just any car dealership, it sold cars that looked like spaceships. Some had seats that gave you massages, others had tiny TVs inside, and a few could drive themselves. One bright morning, Amara was finishing up early when she spotted a sleek black car parked in the corner. It had just arrived the night before, a new model. Curious, she tiptoed closer. "Wow," she whispered. "You look like you can fly." The door was slightly open. That was strange. She looked around, no one was there. Just for a second, Amara muttered, placing the mop against the wall. No harm in sitting down and pretending. She slid into the driver's seat, and as soon as she shut the door, the dashboard lit up. Buttons glowed, soft music played, and the scent of luxury filled the air. Amara leaned back and closed her eyes, smiling. Just then, the passenger door opened, and in stepped a tall man wearing sunglasses and a navy blue suit. "What do you think you're doing in my car?" the man asked, folding his arms. Amara gasped and sat upright. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to, please, I was just cleaning and I saw the door open and." The man removed his glasses and stared at her. "You're the cleaner, right?" She nodded quickly, heart pounding. "Yes, sir. I didn't mean to." To her surprise, the man chuckled. "Relax. I'm not angry. You just looked so peaceful sitting there, like you belonged." Amara blinked. "I did?" "Yes. Most people sit in these cars with stiff shoulders. But you leaned back like the queen of the road." Amara giggled nervously. "I was pretending. I like to imagine sometimes." "What's your name?" the man asked. "Amara." "I'm Tund. I own this place." She gasped again. "You're the owner? The billionaire?" He smiled. "That's what they call me." Amara fumbled to open the door. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Tund. I shouldn't be here." But Tund stopped her. "Wait. Don't rush off. I want to ask you something." She froze. "Why, yes. Do you dream of owning a car like this one day?" Amara hesitated. "Not really. I just want a small car. One that doesn't break down every day." Tund leaned back. "Simple dreams. But what if I told you that maybe, just maybe, you deserve more than what you've allowed yourself to want?" Amara frowned. "I'm just a cleaner." "No, you're not just anything," Tund said, his voice softening. "Come with me tomorrow. I want to show you something." Amara's eyes widened. "Go with you? Where?" "A little adventure. You clean the outside of this world every day. Maybe it's time you stepped inside and saw it from another view." Amara stared at him, unsure whether he was serious or just joking. Tund added, I promise I'm not playing. Be ready by 10 a.m. tomorrow. Wear something comfortable. Oh, and don't worry, I'll handle everything." Before she could say anything, he stepped out of the car, leaving her staring after him. The rest of that day felt like a dream. Amara kept wondering, did that really happen? When she returned home to the small room she rented behind Mama Kemi's food shop, she told her best friend Aoife. "He said what?" Aoife shrieked. "You entered his car? And he wasn't angry?" "I swear," Amara whispered, wide-eyed. "He said I looked like I belonged in it." Aoife threw a pillow at her. "Girl, you better be careful. Rich men don't just offer poor girls adventures for no reason." "But he didn't sound like that kind of man," Amara said, thoughtful. "Well," Aoife said, rolling her eyes, "even in fairy tales, the slipper only fits one girl. Maybe this time, that girl is you." They both burst into laughter, but deep inside, Amara's heart thumped with a new kind of hope. Maybe, just maybe, tomorrow was the beginning of something she never expected. The next morning, Amara woke up before the sun. She had barely slept at all. Her heart danced with a mix of fear and excitement. What if it was all a joke? She wondered. What if Tund forgot? She stood in front of her small mirror, holding two dresses. One was her favorite yellow gown that had a small tear on the side, and the other was a plain black top with jeans. She sighed and chose the jeans. "You look nervous," said Aoife, still half asleep on the mattress beside her. "I am nervous," Amara whispered. "What if I mess up? What if rich people laugh at me?" Aoife yawned. "Then you laugh louder. Remember who you are. You're Amara. You're not afraid of mop water or broken dreams." Amara smiled. "Thanks, Aoife." By 9:45 a.m., she was standing outside the Crystal Wheel, clutching a small bag. Just as the clock struck 10, a silver car pulled up in front of her. The window rolled down, and there was Tund, looking casual in a white shirt and sunglasses. "You're right on time," he said, smiling. Amara got in slowly. The seats were softer than her bed. "Where are we going?" she asked. Tund chuckled. "You'll see. Just trust me." They drove out of the city, passing roads Amara had never seen before. Huge buildings, wide streets, clean parks, it all looked like a different world. Amara stared out the window like a child seeing magic for the first time. "Why are you doing this?" she asked softly. Tund glanced at her. "Because sometimes, people just need a chance to see themselves in a new mirror. I want to show you what you're capable of outside the mop and bucket." Amara was quiet for a moment. "You know, most people just ignore me. They talk around me, like I'm not even there." "I used to be like that," Tund admitted. "But then something happened." "What?" "My mother used to clean houses. She raised me alone, worked 3 jobs, and taught me that no one is beneath anyone. I built this empire, but I forgot where I came from until I saw you, sitting in that car like it was yours. And I thought, she reminds me of my mother." Amara blinked back a tear. "That's kind of beautiful." Soon, they arrived at a tall glass building. "Come on," Tund said, opening the door for her. Amara stepped out and stared at the huge letters above the entrance, Tund Group Headquarters. Inside, the air smelled like flowers and new paper. Everyone wore suits and heels and looked important. When Amara walked in beside Tund, heads turned. People whispered. Who is she? One woman muttered to another. Is that his cousin? A man whispered. Amara held her breath, feeling out of place, like a goat in a lion's den. But Tund didn't care. He walked proudly beside her. They entered a large conference room with a long table. This, Tund said, is where big decisions are made. Today, I want you to sit beside me during my meeting. Amara's jaw dropped. What? Me? No. I don't know anything about business. You know more than you think, Tund said. Just listen. Watch. Ask questions if you want. You're smart, Amara. Trust yourself. She took a deep breath and followed him in. The meeting began. People spoke in big words, throwing numbers and strategies across the table like puzzle pieces. Amara listened carefully. She didn't understand everything, but she noticed how one man kept interrupting everyone. She leaned toward Tund and whispered, "Why is that man talking so much but saying nothing helpful?" Tund chuckled. Good eye. That's exactly what I've been thinking. When the meeting ended, he turned to the group. Everyone, this is Amara. She's a guest today, and her opinions matter. Some people blinked in confusion. Others nodded politely. Afterward, Tund took her to the rooftop cafe. The city sparkled below them. Tell me something, he said. If you weren't a cleaner, what would you be? Amara thought for a while. A storyteller. I love stories. I used to write small ones when I was younger. Tund grinned. Really? Why'd you stop? I thought no one would read the story of a cleaner. Well, he said, leaning back, they're reading it now. Chapter 2 just ended. Amara laughed. In that moment, high above the city she cleaned every day, with the wind in her hair and hope in her heart, Amara felt something new. She felt seen. She felt possible. She felt more. The next day, Tund's silver car pulled up again, right on time. Amara was waiting outside with her hair tied back, her heart thudding in her chest. She had borrowed a simple green dress from Aoife, who'd ironed it lovingly the night before. Day 3, Tund smiled as she climbed in. Ready? Not really, Amara whispered. But I came anyway. That's the spirit. Today, instead of the city or the office, Tund took her to a quiet hilltop just outside town. The road curved like a ribbon, and the wind danced through the trees. At the top was a small house, simple, wooden, and surrounded by flowers. Where are we? Amara asked. This was my first real home, Tund said. I grew up here. My mother and I shared this place until I turned 19. She made it a palace with nothing but love and leftover furniture. Amara stepped inside. It was cozy, with an old photo of a woman in a head wrap smiling beside a younger version of Tund. She looks kind, she said. She was, Tund replied. She always said, it's not how much you have, but how much you give. She gave me everything. But I never brought anyone back here, not even my ex-fiancé. Amara raised an eyebrow. Why me then? Because I trust you, he said. You don't pretend. And you don't treat me like some gold statue. They sat on the front steps, sipping cold drinks as birds chirped above them. Tell me something, Amara, Tund asked, turning to her. What does the world look like from your eyes? Amara paused. It looks like a big place where rich people walk past cleaners like they're part of the floor. It looks like a world that claps for people only after they wear suits and own things. But, she glanced at him, it also looks like hope sometimes. Like now. Tund nodded slowly. That's why I brought you here. You helped me see what I forgot. Amara smiled shyly. You know, when I first saw you, I thought you were just another rich man with shiny shoes and no soul. He laughed out loud. Ouch! That's fair. But then, you noticed me, she continued. And not like I was part of the wall or someone invisible. You looked at me like I mattered. You do, Tund said, gently. A lot. There was a silence between them. Not awkward. Just warm. Comfortable. Suddenly, Amara jumped up. I want to show you something too. Tund raised a brow. What is it? Come with me tomorrow. To the place where I live. I want you to see my world. No cars. No fancy food. Just the truth. Tund smiled. Deal. The next morning, for the first time in his life, Tund didn't wear designer shoes or call his driver. Instead, he wore simple sneakers and followed Amara down bumpy streets, past shouting traders and restless buses, through a maze of narrow alleys filled with children chasing chickens and mothers frying akara. They arrived at her building, a worn-out structure with rusted windows and cracked walls. This is home, Amara said proudly. Come in. Inside, the air was warm, filled with the smell of beans and pepper. Aoife jumped when she saw Tund, nearly dropping her spoon. Is that? Wait, Amara? Yes, Amara laughed. Don't faint, please. Aoife shook Tund's hand with wide eyes. So you're real? As real as the ground, Tund chuckled. He sat on their only couch, careful not to break it. Kids peeked through the window, whispering, "Na billionaire be that? Is he her uncle?" Aoife served everyone a meal of rice and stew, and Tund ate with his hands, just like everyone else. You're not what I expected, Aoife finally said to him. Neither is your sister, Tund replied, smiling at Amara. That night, as Tund walked Amara to the corner of her street, he turned to her with a serious face. I've shown you my world. You've shown me yours. I don't know where this is going, Amara, but I feel something real with you. Amara's heart fluttered. Even if I'm just a cleaner? Tund took her hand. No. Because you're Amara, the woman who made a billionaire remember how to see people again. And under the blinking stars and humming street lights, they stood together, two people from different worlds, holding one heart. The sun rose over the city, casting a golden glow that poured into Amara's small room. She sat on the edge of her mattress, her heart full and her head spinning with the memories of the past few days. She had dined with a billionaire, laughed in his childhood home, and walked hand in hand with him down the same dusty roads she'd walked alone all her life. Aoife, she whispered, gently shaking her sister. I think I'm falling for him. Aoife stretched sleepily. I knew it from the day he called you Amara like your name was Treasure. But people will talk, Amara said, her face falling. They already are. I overheard the others at work. They said I'm pretending. That I'm aiming too high. And what do you say? Aoife asked, sitting up now. I say. I didn't ask for this. I didn't plan it. It just happened. Aoife touched her arm. Then don't let anyone steal your joy. That afternoon, Amara was called into the dealership office. Mr. Bello, the manager, stood by the door, arms crossed. I hear you've been getting cozy with Mr. Tund, he said, not hiding his distaste. Amara stood straight. Yes, sir. He invited me. Mr. Bello scoffed. Do you really think someone like you belongs in his world? She wanted to shrink away, but then she remembered Tund's words, "You're Amara, the woman who made a billionaire remember how to see people again." So she lifted her chin and said clearly, I don't know where I belong yet, sir. But I know who I am. Mr. Bello's eyes narrowed, but he said nothing more. As Amara walked away, her hands trembled, but her heart felt strong. Later that evening, Tund picked her up again, this time in a simple black car, nothing flashy. Rough day? He asked as she sat beside him. I stood up to someone today, she said, with a small smile. It felt scary. But good. Tund grinned. Proud of you. They drove to a rooftop garden, high above the city. The lights sparkled below like fallen stars, and the breeze carried the scent of flowers. Amara, Tund said, his voice calm but serious, I have to tell you something. Her heart skipped. What is it? My board of directors, they're not happy. They think this thing between us is a distraction. They want me to make a statement denying everything. Amara's chest tightened. So, what will you do? I told them no, he said. And I meant it. But I need you to know, it's not going to be easy. People will talk. Some will laugh. Some will doubt you. Amara turned to face him fully. Then let them talk. I'd rather be true and laughed at than fake and praised. Tund's eyes lit up. Then I want you beside me. Not as a secret. Not as a shadow. But as a partner. Amara blinked. Partner? He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small silver key. This is to your new office, he said. You'll be helping me launch a program at the dealership, one that trains and hires underprivileged youth in car mechanics and hospitality. You'll lead it, if you want. Amara stared at the key. But I'm just a... No, Tund interrupted, gently. You're not just anything. You're Amara. And the world is going to know your name. Tears filled her eyes as she took the key, her fingers trembling. Thank you. He smiled. No, thank you. For reminding me what really matters. As they stood under the stars, with the wind dancing around them and laughter rising from the streets below, Amara knew that her story was just beginning. Not because she fell in love with a billionaire, but because she finally saw her worth, and made others see it too. Months later, the new training center was launched. The front sign read, Amara Initiative, Building Dreams from the Ground Up. Amara walked through the hallway in a neat blazer, her smile wide as trainees greeted her with respect and admiration. I heard you used to clean here, a young girl whispered to another. Amara overheard and turned, smiling. Yes. And I still clean, just with different tools now. Tund watched her from the doorway, heart full. He hadn't just found a partner in business. He had found a woman who taught him that titles fade, but character lasts forever. And together, they proved that sometimes, the richest love grows from the humblest places. Hello tribe, hope we enjoyed today's story. Please kindly put what you've learned in the comments section. Please remember to hit the like button, Share this to your friends and family as well as subscribe to see you on the next one. Bye.